Hey everybody, you always catch me when I'm trying to adjust things. And I don't like editing, so I could edit out this part, but nah, I'll just leave it. Hey, how you doing? Let me hide this down here. Okay, hey. So last week we started something brand new. Last week we started learning how to read the notes on the staff because you can't just go through music, your musical time, just clapping and counting rhythms. Yes, rhythm is a big part of music, but if you want to play an instrument other than a drum or sticks or a tone block, then you're going to need to learn to read the notes on the staff. And so that's what we started doing last week. So today we're going to review that a little bit. And then I have a fun activity for you to do with your substitute. Let me just give you a hint. It involves a beanbag. Okay, so let's review just a little bit about what we did last week. And here we go. Move myself out of the way again. As you can see, this is the staff. The staff is made up of 5 lines and 4 spaces. 5 lines, 4 spaces. Okay. This is where we write the notes. And this guy over here is the treble clef. Treble clef, treble clef. Yeah, don't forget that because that's where your music teacher gets embarrassed. Like when, I don't know, certain teachers ask their students, what's that called? And you don't know. It's a treble clef. All right. Treble clef is always at the beginning of every line of music for what we're going to do. Okay. Now, you have 2 types of notes that you can put on the staff. You have line notes and space notes. Now, keep in mind that these notes are still going to be the ones that we've talked about before: quarter notes, eighth notes, half notes, whole notes, even 16th notes. They all go on the staff, but where you put them on the staff, that will determine the sound that they make, the pitch that they produce, okay? All right, so let's get back to lines and spaces. So let's drop some notes here onto the lines. And when you drop the notes onto the lines, then each one of them takes on a name. The bottom line, as we know, is called E, because we're going to say a certain phrase. The phrase is, every good boy does fine. Remember this? Every good boy does fine. Every starts with E, and then we move on to G, B, D, and F. And now I need to get out of the way because the next part takes up a lot of space. So shrink, I'm shrinking. I feel like the Wicked Witch in the Wizard of Oz. All right, anyway, here we go. Every good boy does fine. That is the phrase that we say to help us remember the lines. Every good boy does fine on a line, right? Okay, so those are the names of the line notes. So let's move on, clear those off of there, and now let's drop the notes onto the spaces. Now, this one doesn't have a phrase to remember, right? Remember that from last week? This one already spells a word. The order that those notes are in already spells a word. And the word rhymes with space, so it's easy to remember. The word is face. And you spell face, F-A-C-E, not F-A-S-E, which is what I've had students do in the past. Makes sense. I mean, sometimes the English language doesn't make sense. Face sounds like an S. All right, anyway, F-A-C-E, face in the space. And just to help you remember, you can picture Miss Skirvin's face in the space. There we go. See, my face is in the space. Pretty clever, huh? All right. So here on the next line, the next slide, I have the line notes again, and then let's drop in those space notes so we can see how everything goes together going up. All right, and here are the letter names of those notes. So I have the line notes in red, the space notes in blue, but then when you read them all together, they go in order. Kinda. You start here, A, B, C, D, E, F. Here we have E, F, G, A. Remember last week I told you there are only 7 letters in the music alphabet. And then when we need more, we just use the same ones over and over. For example, on a piano, if we start way down here, this one right here, do you see where my pointer is? That's an A. Then there's B, C, D, E, F, G. What's next? Don't say H. Please don't say H. A. A again. B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, blah, blah, blah. Keeps going, right? Just over and over and over. We only have 7 letters in the music alphabet, but a piano, for example, has 88 keys. So we need more than 7, right? So we just use the same ones over and over and over. So that's how that works, okay? Now let's move on. Oh, we did this little activity last week where you got with a partner and you used your hand as a staff. Remember? So let's review how this goes. Remember, you hold your hand like this, so your fingers are horizontal. This is vertical. This is horizontal, like the horizon. That's how I remember it. So horizontally, and you start at the bottom, going up always. Even looking at the staff, the 5 lines and 4 spaces we had on a previous slide, you always start at the bottom and work your way up, okay? So here we have on the bottom finger, that's an E. There's E for every. Remember, every good boy does fine. So the next one's going to be G for good, every good. So what's this next one going to be? B, every good boy. Every good boy does. Every good boy does fine on a line. So those are the line notes. This is how you can practice the line notes, by pointing to your fingers. And then the spaces between your fingers, space rhymes with face. So you're going to spell the word face starting from the bottom going up. The bottom space is F. How do you spell face? F A C E. F-A-C-E, face in the space. Face in the space. Okay? All right, so let's do it. Let's, not yet. Hold on. Don't move. Don't be looking around trying to get your partner yet. Right now, I want you to just think about it. So in a minute, you're going to get a partner. You and your partner go off into a scattered space somewhere smart. You can't sit over by the door because then you can't be seen. You can't go behind my desk. Can't go behind the piano. Don't go on the steps. Sit facing each other and take turns quizzing each other. So if I had a partner right now, I would start with here and say, what is this? And my partner would go, well, it's a line. Every good boy does fine. Every good boy does. That's a D. And you would say, great job. And then they would do one for me. Pretend that's not my hand. What's this? Oh, that's a space between the lines. Space rhymes with face. F-A. So that's an A. Okay. So you're going to quiz your partner back and forth. Do it for 2 or 3 minutes, until you feel like you've got it. Last week, I let the substitute leave this on the screen so you could kind of look at it. But today, oh, it's gone. But you know what? You can do it. You got this. I believe in you. Down. Make me proud. I know you can do it. All right. Have fun. Every good boy does fine on a line. F-A-C-E, face in the space. Substitute can go ahead and pause the video right here. And after they're done quizzing each other, have them go back to their assigned seats and we'll go from there. Welcome back. I assume you're done with your quizzing each other on your fingers. And you know what? If you're ever bored at recess or it's raining outside and you have indoor recess, hey, this is something you can do. All right. So here we have staff, and we did this last week. So I'm going to ask the substitute again. I'm going to put a note on the staff, and I need someone, a student, to raise their hand, and you call on someone and they're going to tell you what letter they think it is. And then I'll show the answer. And guys, remember, if someone says an answer and you know it's not the right answer or you think it's not the right answer, don't say anything. Zip it up, lock it, put it in your pocket. Okay? Because everyone's trying. Everyone's trying their best to learn this new language of music. Okay? So here we go. Here's our first note. First thing I would do is ask myself, is that a line note or a space note? And then say the phrase or the word that would help you figure it out. So go ahead and raise your hand if you know the letter name of that note. Don't say it out loud. Okay, here comes the answer. G. That's on a line. So you would say every good boy does fine. Every good. That's a G. Okay. Moving on. Here's the next one. Oh. Raise your hand if you know the answer. Maybe you already answered it. Here it comes. F. Bottom space. F-A-C-E, face in the space. Here comes the next one. Raise your hand when you know it. Here's the answer. That's the top space of face. F-A-C-E. All right, here comes the next one. B for boy. Every good boy does fine. On a line. Here's the next one. Sliding in. And here's the answer. I wish I knew how you were doing. I mean, I wish I could see you for real. And you, all right. Anyway, here we go. Next one. And here's the answer. It's an E. Bottom line, every good boy does fine. Every starts with an E. Oh, way at the top. And here's the answer. F. Every good boy does fine. And that was it. Wow. Okay. Wish I knew how you did. I guess I'll find out another time. Now, for this, I need to make myself really small. So I hope you can still hear me. Hope you can still see me okay. All right. So this is setting up the activity that you're going to do in just a little bit. Does this look familiar? It's the lines where you're sitting right now. Now, I couldn't put all the lines across, but you can still see that there are 5 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. We still have 5 rows, and these lines represent the tape on the floor where you all sit. Okay. So this is a picture of my music room floor. Got it? And just so you get an idea of what's what, let me put myself in here. There I am. Hi. All right, so this is where I stand in the classroom in front of you, okay? So the the chalkboard used to be whiteboard. Chalkboard's behind me. The TV's like over here. My desk is over here where I am sitting. So it's like I'm sitting at my desk watching you. So over here's the bookshelf, windows back here. Got it? Okay. So can you picture where you're sitting? All right. So this is my classroom. Now, I want to show you something. There is a reason why I have 5 rows, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can anyone figure out why I intentionally put 5 rows in my classroom? The reason is because there are 5 lines on a staff. Yeah. It's like you all are sitting on a big staff. Okay. Now check this out. Check this out. This is pretty cool. There's the E line, the bottom line of the staff. Every good, there's the G line. Every good boy. Okay, so my dog Izzy is right over here on the other side of this, and she's scratching. So if you hear a racket, shh, that's enough. Okay. Up. Every good boy does fine. So there's the line. So it's like we extend this first line all the way out. That's the bottom line of the staff. If we were to extend, like connect all of these dashes, all of these pieces of tape into one long piece of tape, that's the second line. That's G. And here's B, the B line, the D line, and the F line. Does that make sense? I mean, I hope it makes sense. I can't see you nodding your heads or shaking your heads or going, what? So just keep in mind, this is E, G, B, D, F. Okay, I'm sorry. I have to run over here for just a second. My cat is trying to eat some flowers. So I can't run. I got to get my crutches. I'll be right back. Just hang on. down. Get down. Go. All right, sorry. She has this thing for eating flowers. I don't know what's up with her. Okay, that was Molly. All right, here we go. So now we got the lines, right? But where are the spaces? Well, the spaces are between each row, between each line. So it's kind of like if your bottom is on your tape right now, it's where your legs are. That's the space. So those would be the space notes F, A, C, and E. Face in the space. Okay? Base in the space. So we have the bottom line is E, next line G, B, D, F. And then the spaces between each row spell face, F, A, C, E. See that? You're going to need to know this, so I hope you're paying attention because this has to do with the activity we're about to do. All right? So here's what we need to do right now. I'm going to give you 10 seconds to be sitting on the circle. Sitting on the circle. Got it? 10 seconds. You ready? Here, let me move myself because I got some little graphics that are going to be happening. Okay, 10 seconds. Go to the circle. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. You should all be sitting on the circle. Are you? Are you there? Okay, everybody settled? Because I'm going to go on. I'm going to go on and show you what's next. Okay, so let's go back to this. There I am. That's weird. Like I was standing in front of myself. That's mind-blowing. Okay, so this is a beanbag game. Now, your substitute should have a blue beanbag, and she is going to toss the beanbag out onto the staff somewhere. Let's see where it goes. There it goes. It landed right there. So now your job will be to raise your hand and say the name of that spot. Like, what is the letter name of the beanbag if the beanbag were a note? All right, so the first thing I would do is I would say, is it a line or a space? Well, that obviously landed in the space between two lines, and that's an A because it's the second space, F-A-C-E. So the answer would be A, right? Okay, let's try again. Let's do another one. I'm just giving you some examples. All right, so if she tossed it out there this time and it landed over there, what would be the letter name of that beanbag if it were a note? Got it? Think about it. Is it a line or a space? It's right on top of a line. So every good boy does. D. It's a D. Correct. All right, let's do another one. Another little example. Oh, she tossed it over here this time. There it is up there. Now, it's not exactly on top of a line, but remember I said we have to pretend that these lines are extended all the way across, like it's one big, long piece of tape. So what would be the letter name of that note? I hope somebody said B, because that's on a line. We say every good boy. That's a B. That's a B. Okay. Let's try another one. Oh, way over there. Kind of easy because it's right next to the answer. I hope somebody said F, because that's obviously in the space between the lines and it's an F. Okay, let's see what's next. Okay, now look at this one. Now, when we play the game for real and your teacher tosses the beanbag out, it's not always going to be exact. It's not going to be exactly on the line or exactly in the space between the lines. It might look like this. And if that's the case, if it's kind of on a line and kind of in a space too, I'm going to ask the sub if you would just call it out, decide, is it on the line or is it in the space? And if you even want to go up to it and move it more into the line or move it more onto the, move it more into the space or move it more onto the line, that's up to you. Because we know when you're tossing something, I mean, unless you're like, an NFL quarterback, you're not going to be exact and precise every time. Okay? I mean, not even Malik Cunningham is exact and precise all the time, right? So, anyway, so you might get some of these, and if that happens, then substitute. You just go ahead and move it to where you think it should be, on the line or in the space, or you can just tell them, "Hey, that's in the space," and then they'd have to figure it out. So let's talk about this. If this were actually in this space right here, it would be E. But if it were actually on the line, it would be F. Okay? All right. So here we go. Time to play the game. So when we're playing the game, for a little bit, your substitute will be the one tossing it out there a few times, okay? After a while, after about 4 or 5 tosses, I'm going to ask that the substitute, when you toss it out for like the 4th or 5th time, whatever student answers correctly, they get the beanbag and they get to toss it next. Okay? They'll toss it, and then that person that tossed it actually gets to call on someone who has their hand raised. And the person that says the correct answer, they get to toss it next. And then they call on someone. So, but let's try to make things equal, guys. Don't just call on your best friends all the time so it's the same 4 or 5 people. I want to give as many people a chance to try this out as possible. Okay? All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Substitute, you can toss it out there 4 or 5 times to get things started, and then let's give that over to the students. After this activity, your teacher has a couple more things for you to do. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you were watching. Otherwise, this was just me talking to myself. Hey, all right. Hopefully, I get to come back soon. You guys that are in choir, I'm sorry, we won't have choir this week either. I'll send a text to your parents, but just to let you know ahead of time, we're not going to have choir this week. I can't be back this week yet. All right, take care, guys, and I will see you soon.